Ārakkhadāyaka Therāpadāna, Jonathan S. Walters. Therāpadāna, The Legends of the Theras. Ārakkhadāyaka Chapter the 32nd. 311. Ārakkhadāyaka. A fence was constructed by me, for the great sage, Tamādasi, and I provided protection. For the best biped, the neutral one. It was 1800 eons ago that I did that karma. Through that good karma's remaining effect, I am now an arahant. The 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Ārakkhadāyaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Ārakkhadāyaka Thera is finished. (312) Bhojanadāyaka. Of good birth like a sal tree's bough, rising up like a drumstick tree, streaking the sky like Indra's bolt, the victor was always shining. With a mind that was very clear, I donated edibles to him, the god over other gods, Vesabu Buddha, the great sage, the self become unconquered one. The Buddha gave me thanks for that. Let it be born as fruit for you, as you're reborn in existence. In the 31 eons since, I gave that gift to him back then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That is the fruit of giving food. In the 25 aeon hence, there was one man, Amitabha, a wheel-turning king with great strength, possessor of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Bhojanadāyaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Bhojanadāyaka Thera is finished. (313) Gatasaññaka. There are no footprints in the air. The sky is not marked by the wind. I saw the victor Siddhartha, journeying to the world of gods. I saw the Samasambuddhas, robe being shaken by the wind. Having seen the sage's journey, joy is born for all time for me. In the 94 eons since, I obtained that perception then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. The fruit of Buddha perception, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Gatasaññaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Gatasaññaka Thera is finished. Sattapadumiya. I was a Brahmin, Nasada, dwelling on a riverbank then. I swept out the hermitage there, with lotus flowers as my broom. Seeing the golden Sambuddha, Siddhartha, leader of the world, traveling through the forest once, I felt a feeling of delight. Going to meet the Sambuddha, Siddhartha, leader of the world, I brought him to the hermitage, and spread lotuses and lilies. In the 94 eons since, I did puja with that flower. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of Buddha puja. In the 7th aeon ago, there were 4 Patapavaras, will-turning monarchs with great strength, possessors of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Sattapadumiya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Sattapadumiya Thera is finished. (315) Pupphasaniya. The golden-colored Sambuddha, just like the 100-raying sun, was traveling nearby to me, Siddhartha the unconquered one, going out to meet the Buddha. Having him enter my ashram, I gave him a seat of flowers, with a mind that was very clear. Pressing both my hands together, at that time I was overjoyed. Pleasing my heart in the Buddha, I turned that karma to my use. I'm pure in the dispensation, because of all that wholesomeness, the merit made by me in the unconquered one, the self become. In the 94 eons since, I gave that floral seat back then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. The fruit of giving floral seats, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Pupphasaniya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Pupphasaniya Thera is finished. (316) Āsanathavika, Sikhi Buddha Supreme Stupa, was the kinsman of the world then. I was journeying in a dark forest, a barren wilderness. After exiting the forest, I saw the Buddha's lion throne. Confidently pressing my hands, I praised the leader of the world. Throughout the entire day I praised the Buddha, the world's chief leader. Happy and with a happy heart, I uttered this speech at that time. Praise to you, O well-bred person. Praise to you, ultimate person. You're the omniscient, great hero, the world's best, the bull among men. After praising Sikhi like that, after saluting his throne there, led away by other concerns, I departed facing north. In the 31 eons since, I praised the best debater then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of singing praises. In the 27th aeon, ago were 7 Atulyas, will-turning monarchs with great strength, possessors of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Āsanathavika Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Āsanathavika Thera is finished. (317) Saddasaññaka, the great hero, beautiful one, preaching the path to deathlessness, was dwelling in a superb house, surrounded by his followers. He slew the people's attachments. By means of his honey-sweet words, there was a huge uproar just then. Wishes of good for gods and men. Having heard the utterances of Siddhartha Buddha, great sage, and pleasing my heart in the sound, I worshipped the world's leader then. In the 94 eons since, I obtained that perception then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. The fruit of perceiving Buddhas, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Saddasaññaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Saddasaññaka Thera is finished. (318) Tiransiya. On a mountainside, Siddhartha, like a lion which is well born, had lit up all the directions, like a fire mass on the mountain. Having seen Buddha's effulgence, like the effulgence of the sun, and like the moon's effulgence too, great happiness arose for me. Seeing the 3 effulgences, seeing the ultimate hearer, placing deer hide on one shoulder, I praised the leader of the world, the 3 makers of effulgence. Dispelling darkness in the world are the moon and also the sun, and Buddha, leader of the world. Illustrating these similes, I spoke praises of the great sage. Having extolled Buddha's virtues, I joyed an aeon in heaven. In the 94 eons since, I extolled the Buddha back then. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That is the fruit of extolling. In the 61st aeon hence, there was one man at Hera, a wheel-turning king with great strength, possessor of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Tiransiya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Tiransiya Thera is finished. Kandalipupphiya. I was a farmer at that time, on the banks of river Indus, bound in service to another. I looked not for that other's rice. Wandering along the Indus, I saw Siddhartha the victor, sitting down in meditation, like a lotus flower in bloom. I having cut off all the stems of 7 plantain flowers, then did spread them out upon the head of Buddha, kinsman of the sun, attentive to the protocol. Back then, after I had approached the golden-colored Sambuddha, wise one, with senses well controlled, hard to approach like a tusker, Amtaga in threefold rut, having pressed my hands together, I worshipped Buddha the teacher. In the 94 eons since I did puja with that flower, I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of Buddha puja, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Kandalipupphiya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Kandalipupphiya Thera is finished. (320) Kumudamaliya, taking a white lotus bloom I laid it before the best Buddha, sacrificial recipient, the bull excellent one, hero, victorious one, the great sage, the Pasi Buddha, great hero, like a lion which is well born. In the 91 eons since I did puja with that flower, I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of Buddha puja, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Kumudamaliya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Kumudamaliya Thera is finished. The summary: Gatasaññaka and Padumika, Pupphasaniya, Āsanathavika, Saddasaññaka, Tiransiya, Kandali and Kamudi too. There are 57 verses. The Ārakkhadāyaka chapter, the 32nd.